Jeff does. We'll come back, Jeff, right? When you get it, you can give us, when you have some more time, you can give us a walkthrough. This is the digester, right?
So what have you got going on here?
Well, we are installing solar panels. Each panel is about 3 feet by 5, and there's 50 of them. And when we're all done, it will be enough to power the garage, his house, and this new building that they're installing over there for free.
And have you done solar panels before?
No, I have not.
And so how's the
First
learning
time.
curve?
Yeah, but he's an electrician, so.
Well, yes,
this is easy for him.
Well, the mechanics of the nuts and bolts and installation I've never done before, but
we're learning together
soon we'll be digging the ditch and wiring it all the way up to the house.
So we're 1/10 of the way done. This took us a couple, 2.5 hours. The rest of it will probably take about the same. We'll be done, but we had to figure out the brackets.
Well, that's kind of how it works, isn't it? The first one's always the hardest.
Yeah. So we got a plan here, and we're gonna get this done today.
And on these, if you don't take them all the way off, it makes it easier. Doesn't make any sense, does it?
What's happening?
We are raising the building, and we're learning how to do things a lot better than what we did when we first started.
And what does that mean?
Well, when we first started, we had no idea what we were doing, and we were finally figuring out kind of how to put the Legos together. Sorry, yeah. They all knew everything. They just failed to tell me everything, so it was like a giant joke.
And so what is it? It looks like you have some type of suspension, something?
Yeah, these are the wires that go in between. You can see them there, and they help tighten the building up and keep it from going back and forth.
And is so that both earthquake and wind resistant?
Well, yeah, within a certain tolerance, of course, but yes. Yeah,
for here at least, right?
Yeah, they tell you that in a hurricane you'd actually take the tarp off, but the structure would be able to last.
Oh, because so that way the wind wouldn't pull it.
Yep, so it'd be good to go.
Good thing we don't have hurricanes here, huh?
Very good, yeah. Tornado-sized wind, so we are worried about it, but not too worried.
Fascinating.
Very much so.
Your arms are going to be sore.
Oh, yeah.
So Mrs. W and I, we got 2 rows of the solar panels, and there's a total of 50 panels, 230 watt panels. I believe this is a nice system. I can see myself doing this. So this is going to be Aquaponics. Aquaponics. There'll be steelhead in here underground, so they're kept at the right temperature. It can be a completely self-sustaining indoor garden. This is the, I don't exactly know how this is going to work, but Jeff does. We'll come back, Jeff, right? When you get it,
Absolutely.
you can give us, when you have some more time, you can give us a walkthrough. This is the digester, right? And Jeff poured all this concrete here himself with the anaerobic digester, and you poured all this concrete here with got your forms.
Yep.
And then what are these tanks for?
2 methane storage tanks and 1 liquid storage tank.
2 methane storage tanks and 1 liquid storage tanks. See, Jeff's kind of like an astronaut type of guy, so he understands all these things. So you're going to have to put it in really simple terms for us.
It's a cow's stomach, and it produces methane. So just like a cow, you put organic stuff in, and it farts.
That's like Jeff.
So Jeff's saying it's like a cow's stomach, an artificial cow's stomach that makes methane. So you're basically going to have a completely self-sufficient system here. You'll be able to produce your own fuel.
That's right.
Your own food.
Own energy.
Your own
fuel,
energy.
and food. Electricity.
electricity.
And then the methane can run the vehicles. And then the food has both protein and the vegetables.
Jeff, you're just the type of neighbor that I want in WROL.
That's right.
All right, well, we'll come back and help you put the skin on.
Awesome, thank you so much for everything.
You bet. Oh, I didn't even put my makeup on or anything here. So, in my life, there's very few people that I have met or continue to meet that I really admire and respect. And my neighbor Jeff, he certainly falls in that category. A very rare individual. And while spending, we often do things together and help each other out. And we've become, our families have become friends, and his lovely wife Alicia is a gem as well, a strong man of faith, very as patriotic as you can, as you'll ever run across, and just a wonderful guy. And what I so admire about Jeff is that his willingness, or his the attitude, the can-do attitude. He's the type of man that built this magnificent country that we have, completely lacking in any form of entitlement. You know, when we talk about things, you know, we're so parallel in our thinking and our actions in regards to the government. You know, we're not looking for someone to look after us, to hold our hand, or to take care of us, or give us a safety net. You know, all we want from government is just to leave us alone. We'll provide for our families. We'll step up and take care of the things that need to do. We'll provide our security. Also, just icing on the cake, a strong man of faith, and we just are so grateful to have such wonderful neighbors like this. You know, the interesting thing is I was not raised in the country. I was born in the city. I've lived in major cities. I've lived in Chicago. I've lived in Detroit. I've lived in Portland. You know, I've worked all over the place and worked in major cities a good portion of my life. And the thing that I noticed is so different there was, even though we were really close, there were a lot of people squeezed together in a small area. I didn't know my neighbors. Very rarely, if at all, did anyone invite me over to their home for a dinner, or vice versa. I mean, we tried to get to know our neighbors and everywhere we lived, and invited them over, and there just didn't seem to be an interest there. How different that is here. Even though Jeff and Alicia are 6-7 minute drive away from us, to almost 10 minutes away from us, we're often in each other's homes, and we're often stopping and talking to one another, and we know what's going on with them, and they know what's going on with us, and we look after each other. And it's not just them. We have many other neighbors just like that. But what a wonderful way to live, and what a great experience it was. I remember, I've talked about that episode of Charles Ingalls on the Little House on the Prairie, where Charles Ingalls and his family sorry, I'm freezing here, was trying to set up a home on the prairie, and him and his wife Caroline are working together, and she wasn't physically strong enough to do the hard work, and she was really starting to break down. Well, then a neighbor came over, and maybe you've seen the episode, and helps him, and they come to this agreement. It was, I'll tell you what, I'll go get my tools, and I'll help you build your house, and then you can come help me build my house. And the two men working together were able to do something incredible. And I'm not saying this was on this level, because Jeff is done everything, and I've just been over there just to help on one day. But it reminded me of that. And it was really kind of cool to see how different the technologies were, and different the structures were, and the solar panels and all of that was fascinating. It was really great for me to do that, because I haven't had a lot of experience with it, but it really lit a fire under me to step up my game and to get my homestead as independent as possible, just like Jeff's is. And just really admire that, Jeff. So if you're watching, thanks for the opportunity, and I'm couldn't be more proud of you guys. And you guys have been and continue to be a great inspiration to us, and we're grateful to have you as brothers and sisters in Christ, and as well as neighbors. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.